Hey guys, Derek here. Welcome back to the channel. We are back reacting to another episode of You on Netflix. It's been a little bit. Some other prominent shows came out, multiple episodes of them, so I had to get videos out for those pretty quick. But I'm back with episode 4. This one is called Hands Across Madre Linda. I think that's a reference to like Hands Across the World was like a 90s thing for like finding missing kids or something. I don't know. It was referenced in the movie Us. Before we get into this, please consider leaving a like on the video. It means a lot to me, helps my channel out a ton. If you're new here, consider subscribing. And if you're interested in seeing the full-length reaction in this episode, consider supporting me on Patreon. Post all my full, uncut reactions over there. On Patreon, you can also become a super supporter and get featured in every single one of my videos. But last episode, we had everyone getting sick, and Joe had his fever dream, and then they had the measles and everything, and we found out that another one of their neighbors is like the worst. He's like an anti-vax butthole, and Love, because he not intentionally got their kid sick, but like was negligent in his approach to vaccines and sickness and things like that, got her kid sick. She smokes this dude with a rolling pin. Just like, as far as I know, just straight up kills this man. So there she goes, killing again. So presumably we're gonna have to deal with more backlash of Love just being Love, you know? Joe's gonna be so frustrated. But yeah, I'm excited, so let's jump into it. That's my cat. Kind of hard to see. Oh, okay. So someone in this episode ends their own life. It's never good.
Well, this came sooner than expected. The proverbial paint is hardly dry.
He knew someone else was gonna die.
It's more than I can say.
Oh, he's alive. Okay.
You did the right. So I won't be frustrated
I
with
don't know
you,
if she
Love. This
controlled her
represents growth, and
impulses.
it's
Like,
important. I
that
showed
hit
you
could
I
have
recognize
just
it.
as easily killed that guy.
Appreciate it. I'll even set aside the fact of using our son's
Cribby.
monitor as a surveillance.
Of course, she told me what you said. Have to justify what she did.
Debatable.
If
It's
you could
kind of justified.
Seen what she went through in the hospital.
In
with
this
our baby.
fictionalized universe, it's justified.
Is there any chance that we could just keep this between us? Of course, we will not tell a soul how you, no judgment, recklessly endangered our son.
Well, I don't know that I would put it like that.
No? Oh, how?
Well, it's just no judgment. But to dose an infant with chemicals we know nothing about, I mean, I call that reckless. You know, I actually,
Yeah,
your son has naturally gained immunity, so I go so far as to say it was beneficial.
Okay, so now Joe's gonna kill him. The main thing Joe cares about is protecting his kid now. So now that you said it was a good thing that his kid got measles, you're gonna die.
Okay. Sure. Bygones.
He's lying.
Are you absolutely sure?
Now what?
I mean, now you have to kill him. You can't let him out.
Benji.
You
Benji.
look like a choir boy.
So did Dahmer.
Fair. I think you guys might be closer to Dahmer than him, though.
I could have one of everything. Well, I wouldn't tell what my ass would.
I have so many photos.
It's gonna be okay.
She's freaking out. He's like so calm, and she's just constantly freaking out.
When you're ready to talk like a person above the age of 6, I'm gonna be inside.
Yo, who picks their computer up like that? You know, break the screen, buddy. I mean, I guess you're rich, so maybe you don't care.
I've actually really been waiting for this opportunity to join a cabal of soulless bulimic yoga moms. I think it's my calling.
Okay, are you guys gonna have sex or what? Like, quit flirting.
I will be your search buddy.
Tie my shoes and everything.
If necessary.
She'll do a few more things to you as well, buddy.
Right.
Okay, they are 1000% gonna have a relationship at some point.
Once taught at Burgess College in Columbus, Ohio. Left in his second year in October. It's abrupt.
Yeah, that is a weird.
Sophomore Burgess student, victim of campus attack. Could it be?
Doesn't necessarily look like him.
For those of us who didn't grow up with first editions for coasters in our mansions.
I'm sorry. Do you think that I come from money?
Look what you've done to me, love. I smell like the rich now.
Just let me say this. There were no first editions on the shelves growing up because there were no shelves.
Right. You were poor.
I was practically homeless.
A bookstore owner took. Wait, Marion.
That's he's telling the truth there.
I'm sorry.
So I misjudged a little.
And you let him keep the fancy book.
My favorite apologies are.
They might have some chemistry.
I'm sorry, Gil. I want to let you out, man.
I won't tell the soul. I
You
promise.
super will.
I told you, we. A couple years back, our church group went to a festival for Christ in Vegas.
Christ, Vegas, strong starter
He
ingredients.
has a gambling addiction?
Funds for this. Everyone else had gone to bed, but she and I have a little more in our tanks. So,
Cheated on your wife.
So we take the $600 that we'd raised and
You only raised $600? Aren't you guys super rich?
Here this morning.
we put it all on red. We had lost.
That's some weak sauce.
Then what?
I mean, then we had to recoup it from our own savings that Monday.
It's $300 each. That's nothing.
That's it.
What do you mean that's it? We gambled and lost Santos's money.
And you promptly returned. It was a Monday.
Yeah, but we lied. You know, we were selfish. You know, if people knew that. Are
This
you
is
kidding
weak
me?
sauce, man. I mean, still not a good thing to do, but
Not even the saints are saints. But look, I don't know.
My mom's taking Henry tomorrow. I figured with everything.
he copied the line from the book library lady. I almost said the bookstore.
Should probably give her a frozen.
Hit him over the head and put him in a cage. And you could have sued him.
Joe, the cage was your idea.
No, we are not.
How?
How do we not?
You are not making me kill anyone! We are not doing that to our son.
Getting a little feisty, boy. He's angry. She's a little scared there.
Here's what you do as a parent. You keep them healthy and safe and be a good person. That's it. Protect, be good, get out of the way. To be honest, I'm jealous.
True.
Yeah,
A little bit, yeah. They will follow your lead.
I did something you're not going to be totally psyched about.
As are most things that you've done lately. You're not psyched about your actions.
Well, I'm worried.
That we can't deal with this?
No, that you're going to hate me forever if we don't do it the right way.
The look on your face when you said you thought Henry.
You can be a tiny bit frightening, especially when she knows you have a proclivity for murder.
I see.
What kids are exposed to sticks. Fucks them up for life.
You've been through a lot. You're not fucked up for life.
Debatable. He's
I think about it all the time.
I think he's been changed for the worse.
I cheated to get my son into Dartmouth? Why? Alan is a stellar student, all right? Not the world's best test taker.
Dartmouth received perfect test scores from your son.
No. He got in on his GPA.
Also, yeah, All-American water polo until a career-ending injury.
That isn't my son's transcript.
No?
Oh.
Because there's also this.
So he's one of those parents that
$50K you don't
cheated
to a Bennett
to get his
style,
kid in.
Underprivileged.
Maybe it was his wife.
You promised you would be good.
This is worse than.
Maybe the attack on campus was his son.
This Vicky.
It was a payoff. His beloved Alan is a very
I knew
bad
it.
young man who hurts girls.
Sexual assault is not a mistake. That's a
Another girl got
deliberate action.
I mean, poor Morgan feel like she had
You
to do
know?
all this.
Don't attribute that to a mistake.
What? No.
Oh, Gil is... Yeah, okay. Gil is the one. Oh, Gilbert. That's why they had the warning for the episode.
This is not our fault. He did this.
I mean,
It's his decision.
indirectly, it's kind of your fault. Oh, those are some crazy eyes right there. She is so good at acting the
I will
psycho.
make an appearance for the both of us.
Joe, I have a plan.
Bring Gil and hang him in a tree somewhere. And bingo bango. Blame this dead body on Gil. Easy money. 2 birds, 1 stone.
So good luck out there. And
She's such a faker. She doesn't care at all.
hashtag Natalie, come home.
Steps back up for the applause. I hate her so much. I want so badly for her to die by the end of this episode. Or not episode, season.
The story.
But it was when you used the phrase 2 birds, 1 stone
2 birds,
that I saw your
1 star.
true brilliance.
I used that phrase.
2 bodies, 1.
I'm really sorry this is happening. I really am.
Well, I guess I have you to thank.
Getting Peter to come.
Excuse me.
I feel like something tells me this guy knows things, but he maybe he doesn't, but he also subtly gives off the vibe that he like super does know stuff.
Scared of sharing.
Better be a little quicker hiding that someone. Someone's gonna know.
But if I was married to an unfeeling robot like Matthew Engler, probably disappear too.
Did you forget your fucking bullhorn, Sherry?
Theo!
Because you know, if you have a theory, you should make sure that everyone hears it. You know, everyone knows what the fuck you're doing. You're trying to cash in on someone else's tragedy so you can sell your fucking vegan
Hey,
period.
whoa, Theo.
Get all these fucking
Theo,
likes on your
Theo,
Instagram
let's count
post.
to 10, okay? Relax.
God damn, Theo. Love it. Love it, Theo. Love it. But everything he was saying is the truth. You don't care.
No kid is a lost cause. Especially not you.
Joseph, maybe tiny bit. Is this his first obsession? Is the nurse?
Is that your best friend, Sherry?
It's her husband, Theo. Remember,
You know,
she's married.
it's really hard to stay mad.
Rain snuck up on us.
My heart aches.
As I write this, you stood by me in spite of my flaws, and Lord knows you don't deserve what I've done to you. I strayed, no excuse. I do not know what came over me. Next thing I knew, I was standing there gripping an axe, her body on the ground. And when I put her in the ocean, I felt like I was possessed by someone else.
Interesting.
But I am guilty all the same.
Yeah, look at you now. Got a family tragedy on your
They are like super bonding, and I like Theo, but I don't like the intrusion on the relationship. Kiss.
So how do you know who those people are?
They're super. They're gonna kiss. They're gonna kiss. They're gonna kiss. Right now. Right now. Did I call it or did I call it?
Don't do that.
Yep.
Okay, but she's gonna give in
I got a text from my
at some point to him.
But sometimes all it takes is a good story. Make it solid, sexy, relatable.
Poor Gilbert.
Just enough evidence.
I mean, interesting choice. Gil. I don't know if that part's super believable to have an affair with him.
Begrudging accept. We did it, love. Let's be honest. Rebuilding the cage was
I like his
crazy
truck
idea.
though.
It could have really backfired. And
Ford
yet,
Bronco.
It worked.
The new ones look really cool. Put it one book
Sorry, a lot of long nights.
too far.
Yes, I don't need to ask if you've heard about the whole awful Gil Brigham thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's terrible.
Truly.
Yeah, but now they need someone to read to the kids, so.
It's almost like you're flirting with me.
New obsession unlocked.
Cautiously. This necklace thing. Nervous habit. Why would you be nervous
Unless he's just trying to draw your eye line down to her breasts.
Oh, shit. What was I just doing?
I'm totally fine.
Great.
I cannot be thinking about you like this, no. No. This is bad.
New obsession unlocked. Oh, and that's the end? What the frick? Okay, that was another good episode. Joe and Love are just like, I don't know how they get out of these situations. It's kind of insane. Like, everything is just falling into their lap of like perfectly what needs to happen, other than Love smoking people on the daily and soon to be cheating on her husband. Things seem to be going pretty good for them. They have Gil in a freaking cage and they can't let him go, right? Like, there's no way that he's going to not tell people what happened. So they got to find some dirt. They're like, what did he do? You know, Joe thinks he has something, but he's not quite sure. And then like they can't figure it out. But then they do a little digging and they find out that he paid to get his kid into a good college because his kid is a sexual assaulter on multiple occasions. So they were in Ohio or whatever, and his kid did that stuff, and then they had to move to California here, and then his kid did it again. So they had to pay a lot of money to get his kid into school, you know, faked sports scholarships, you know, things like that. Very similar to who was the lady from Full House and her daughter, how they just like pretended this girl was on the rowing team to get her a scholarship and get her into a fancy school. And it's just like rich people getting away with all this crap while like poor people, even if they had like great test scores and fantastic community service and all this jazz, they don't even get looked at to go to these schools. And so they lay all this on him, and he didn't know. It was his wife that did all this stuff and you know, failed him, really. I mean, he wasn't a great person. He's an anti-vaxxer, and he stole $600 from some housing fund. They raised money for somebody's house, but they're like rich. How did they only raise $600? Like, what? They live in a fancy ass neighborhood. What is going on here? They didn't have more friends that could contribute a little bit more money to that? How did they only raise $600? I mean, but he replaced it right away. Like, it's insane. And I assume he just split the cost with the other lady, so it's like $300 a piece from their savings. Like, no one is gonna notice that. That's not a significant amount for you people. But yeah, he finds out about his son and his misdeeds, and he kind of maybe has some thoughts that maybe he wasn't the perfect father, right? Like he tells Joe, to be a good father, you have to you know, protect your kid, which he tried to do, be a good person, which he tried to do, and get out of the way. And that in his mind was the right steps, and in a sense it kind of is, but like you also have to also be a little bit more of a guiding force. You know, his son strayed behaviorally, and that's obviously not the desired outcome for your child to be a sexual assaulter. So due to the fact that like he, you know, sees maybe he sees his son as like not, you know, he sees it as a failure of himself, of his son, of his wife, all that jazz, and he, you know, deems that the next logical step is to end his own life. And that was the warning at the beginning of the episode, so you knew something was coming. Obviously not something that they wanted to happen, and then they got to figure out what to do with Mr. Gilbert's body. And somehow just the solution just falls right into their hands. Two birds with one stone. You know, they have a scapegoat to blame for the murder of Natalie. I mean, not a whole lot of evidence to support their like extramarital affair in any way, but hopefully for them it holds up. They have this whole search going on, and Sherry's just so fake, and Theo straight up calls her. I loved that moment. I'm liking Theo more and more as a character, like as a person. I'm not sure I like his role in this show right now as like as a wedge in Joe and Love's relationship. I would prefer Joe and Love to be like a cohesive unit, or I want Joe to kill her and take the kid and just find somewhere else to be. But yeah, Theo and Love are their burgeoning relationship is continuing to grow, and that spells danger for the future. But with the two birds and one stone on this search, they hide an axe and, you know, seemingly are able to tie all this in a neat bow. Obviously something is going to happen. Gil had one of those rings on, which I don't know if it was one of those fancy rings, like the electronic rings, or if it was just a regular wedding ring, but he had a ring on, which it looked like it was just a wedding ring because it was on his left ring finger or whatever. So hopefully that doesn't come into play. I mean, that would be kind of dumb if like on one body they forgot the fancy electronic ring, and then on the next one they forgot. It's like, you guys gotta learn from your mistakes here. But seemingly everything is Gucci, and you know, everything's tied up, but obviously it's not going to go well. Theo and Love kissed, and she said don't do that, but she's definitely like falling for him a little bit. You know, she's getting some negative vibes from Joe, with him being like upset at her a lot because of her crazy tendencies. And on the flip side, Theo is just like all on board her, like he is real into her. So she's gonna probably seek the affection that she's not getting from Joe in Theo. Meanwhile, to end the episode, Joseph himself has a new obsession in the librarian, which is interesting. She seems like she's like 10, 15 years younger than him. Like, I feel like this actual actress is maybe like 26, maybe, and Joe is like, Penn Badgley's like 37. like she's a youngin'. She just came off of playing a teenager in the Sabrina series, so it's like, you know, maybe their connection isn't quite super believable, but you know, they're flirting a little bit now, and now Joe has a new obsession. So hopefully that doesn't end with her dying. That would be a super big bummer. The only person left that I desperately want to die is Sherry. I want her to get murdered so gruesomely. Like, I want her to be like on an Instagram live and get run over by like a tractor. I don't know. Something that just tears her apart, like on her Instagram feed. So everyone can see how fake she is, and just, it would be wonderful for her to die horribly. She's the worst character in this show, and she's obviously written to be that way, like, and acted to be that way. Like, that's a conscious choice. It's not just like she's a normal character that's coming off this way. It's like she is designed to be grating. So I'm excited for the next episode. Hopefully the next one won't be so far from the last one. I mean, not a ton of you guys are watching these episodes as compared to some of the other shows, hence why, you know, I put a little bit more priority on like the Wheel of Time when those first 3 episodes were coming out. So, but thank you to those people who are here watching this one, all 80 of you. Means a lot. Let me know what you guys thought of this episode down below in the comments. Are you a fan of Joe's new obsession with the librarian? I don't remember her name. It starts with an M, I think. But yeah, let me know everything that you think down below. If you liked my reaction, please leave a like on the video. It means a lot to me. If you're new, consider subscribing. Ring the bell so you're notified when I upload. And then if you want to see the full-length reaction in this episode, consider supporting me on Patreon. On Patreon, you can also become a super supporter and get featured in every single one of my videos. But other than that, thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.